What are you doing?
Shoot. Trying to buy some XRP. And done. Anyway, gotta keep my crypto game up, especially now, because I got a question I need to ask you.
Okay. Do I have an answer?
Maybe. Did you know that there are new laws that set limits on cash?
Cash.
Mandates placed on cash and non-trackable digital transactions? And that violation of this new law would make you a criminal?
Whose law is it? Like, is it a countrywide law or a nationwide law? I mean, worldwide thingy? Or is it like statewide? Like, what is it? You can't, I don't think there's any worldwide laws, right?
So you did. I mean, there's international law.
International laws, but
But you didn't know,
no,
specifically.
no.
So there is a video floating around out there where the president of the ECB, which is the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, was in essence having a discussion with the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, where she exposed and leaked the central bank's secret plans of controlling all the money or digital currency in circulation.
Okay.
Because at that point, it's no longer really money.
Yeah,
it's
I was
just
about to say.
digital ones and zeros. So she said, we're considering whether for very small amounts, anything that is around 300 euros or 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control. Zero control.
Okay.
But that could be dangerous. So she's saying that they have the ability to control it. They have the ability to not control it, but they feel as though not controlling it, but that could be dangerous.
Well, maybe I don't understand this, or maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong direction or the wrong way, but I would think not having some sort of control over money is dangerous. If you think of banks, you want them to know what's coming in and what's going out. You want them to be able to control, in essence, what they have so that they don't overspend the money so that you can still get your money. Or I don't know if I know how to phrase what I'm thinking of here, but I would think that some sort of control would be necessary.
Does the bank control your cash?
Well, the ATM has a set limit on it on what I can take out at one time. So in essence, yes, the bank controls my cash.
Do you have cash now?
On me? Uh-huh.
Does the bank control that?
No, they do not.
So let me backtrack.
Okay.
Did you know that there are new laws that set limits on cash? Specifically, mandating and mandates being placed on cash and non-trackable digital transactions, thus you using your cash.
Okay, so that's not what I heard. So the use of it is not what I heard. What I heard was what you can get. That's how I saw it. So there may be a lot of people like me who hear that wrong or look at it wrong. Or maybe it's just me. But I heard it as getting the money. And I'm like, well, there's already limits on how much cash you can take out of ATMs and things like that.
So she said, we are considering whether for very small amounts, anything that is around 300 or 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control, but that could be dangerous. So even small transactions, the European Central Bank president is saying, we'll probably control those
But how
in the future, whereas currently cash can be used and they can't control it because it's cash. But what they can do is place limits on it. Whereas if you exceed that limit in a transaction, now you're in a gray area.
I mean, we still have that also.
Oh, we don't.
Technically,
we don't have limits on cash transactions in US dollars. But the European Central Bank.
How would they know how much John Smith is giving David Copperfield over there? Like how would they know how much cash is leaving this person's hand to that person's hand?
That's a good question, because there's no way.
Unless they're...
How would they know that fentanyl is being purchased on the streets with cash. They wouldn't, which is why they don't want people to use cash.
Okay.
Which is why they want a central bank digital currency.
Okay.
And even then, at that point in time, they're saying we could have a mechanism where there's zero control, but that could be dangerous.
Okay, so maybe, I mean, I understand digital currency being good and bad, but when I hear this and I look at it, I think of credit cards and my bank card now. I'm not using cash. If I go to use a credit card, the credit agency can be like, yeah, we said you had a $500 limit, but we feel like this is fraudulent. We're going to decline your card. They still have control over that. My bank card, same thing. Whether I were to go in and put it as debit or credit or whatever else, if they deem that it's the wrong place or wrong thing or whatever, they can still shut it down or cancel a transaction. So how is that any different than what it could be once everything's CBDC?
So the difference being that a bank or a financial institution like American Express, which American Express actually provides credit without limits based on, especially if you have a business, based on your business. And they'll almost analyze in seconds the transaction and your business credit score and the history, payment history, etc., to determine whether or not you can buy things with the credit card. However, in instances where obviously they have to protect their interest because they are on the hook for any fraud, any illegal activity, you could dispute a charge, you don't have to pay for it. So the bank also could reimburse you for that as well. Somebody gets a hold of your account. So their best interest is to make sure that every transaction is legitimate to protect you and them. The difference here with the ECB, the European Central Bank, our central bank, the 13 other countries' central banks that are all working through this is they don't care about safety. They care about control. And it's not the bank or the financial institution, the credit card company,
It's the government
protecting you. It's the government monitoring you.
Okay, there's a big difference there. There's a big difference there.
Now, this is ultimately terrible news no matter how you look at it. From one standpoint, this leaked video was labeled as a prank. You remember that video that you didn't see it, but you heard it?
No, that's the lady with the short hair. Tucker Carlson talked about it also. Yes, I know which one it is.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
So it's terrible news. From one standpoint, this leaked video was labeled as a prank. And although nobody jumped out at the end to reveal to her that she was a part of a joke, the truth of the matter is that what she said while being tricked into showing her hand was in fact the true intentions of her government.
Which is more terrifying than it being a prank. You know?
Doesn't stop there.
Oh, good. I was hoping there was more.
Doesn't stop there. I also want to point out that this video in question, it has since been removed from YouTube. Now, removed from YouTube at YouTube's discretion or removed from YouTube at government's request? Ooh, good question. Will we be able to tell the difference next year if you ask that same question, government and YouTube? Will you be able to draw the line?
Probably not.
If Biden wins a consecutive term, will you be able to draw that line?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know that Biden's behind the censorship of YouTube. I think it's...
No, but the government's agenda and narrative would align with YouTube. So it would really be hard to draw that line.
That's true.
Whereas in opposition, a Republican candidate, president, would be clearly, easily identifiable. This is the workings of the government. This is the workings of consent and control of this platform. So if we were to have a repeat of this tragedy, would you be able to draw that line between government and...
With the current administration, I'm going to say no.
The video in reference the prank has been removed from YouTube.
So the prank has been removed from YouTube, but the other sources claiming it as real are probably still there, is what you're saying. Because you said the prank has been removed. So I'm trying to listen to what you're not saying.
I don't know if anyone who used the clip still has a video, but people are referencing it. They're talking about it. And the fact that the video was removed from YouTube just sends chills down my spine when you think about what that really means as the platform continues to try and direct the narrative and uninform as opposed to misinform. They're against misinformation.
But they'd rather you not know than know incorrectly.
They want to uninform as many sheeple as possible.
I may be screwed because the videos I put up, especially today's.
Where channels like mine, SquirrelTribe, Stephen Gardner, Patrick Humphreys, sometimes redacted, and others face intense scrutiny and suppression for only trying to get to the bottom of it all and disclose the facts and seek the truth.
I mean, it would make sense now why my videos are getting literally like 1/10 of the views they were getting.
Do you think Russell Brand is included? I think there's a mixed opinion on Russell Brand.
So, okay.
What he discusses, what he shares, and who he works for.
So here's my thing. I like Russell Brand's videos, but at the exact same time, I have to remind myself that he is a very good actor. So I don't 100% know if it's Russell Brand talking or if it's Russell Brand acting when he does a lot of his videos. Same thing, and I'm not going to lie, y'all may, come at me in the comments, but Joe Rogan's a very good actor as well. You remember Fear Factor, all those things. Like, he's a very, very good actor as well. And I don't know if at all times his viewpoint is really his viewpoint or what they want pushed so that he butts heads with whoever's on the show.
Is it his? And all right, let's remove these two because they're outliers because of their previous reputations and their current subscriber count, which doesn't really matter anymore. Whereas up and coming creators on the rise, for instance, Popular Report. I'll use him as an example.
He was Popular Preparedness before?
Yeah, Popular Report. I'll use him as an example. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody else growing quickly.
I don't think you watch Off Grid with Doug and Stacy.
I don't think they're growing quickly.
No.
I mean, they're 1 million plus, but I don't think they're growing quickly.
Not that quick growth.
So I'm just going to use him for an example because Russell Brand and Joe Rogan are too large.
Okay.
And this could be anybody. This could be, all right, let's use car channels. I like Aubrey Janique. I like Seen Through Glass. I like Cars with Luke. I like Lucky Lopez. All these car content creators, anybody really, when you think about it, we go into the financial space. Meet Kevin, Graham Stephan, Andre Gique, Shelby Church.
Oh, well.
Not realizing she had a twin sister.
What?
She's got a twin sister.
I did not know that.
I don't remember her name, but I found this other channel. I'm like, yo, did she just make another channel and just change her name? She's got a twin sister.
Who also is on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that, no.
So the thing is, the point is that whatever they say could potentially be changed. Their push, their opinion, their direction based on trends, views, sponsorship. Like, how do you know who you can trust, let alone not being an actor, but literally just following the yellow brick road to get that paycheck? True.
It's hard.
And I'm not saying a Popular Report.
No.
But I'm just saying, I was trying to reference a channel that you guys would probably be familiar with that is growing. So as you're growing and then you hit this plateau or possible retraction and you say to yourself, if I keep talking about what I've been talking about, that's obviously not in alignment with growth anymore based on who allows you to grow, do I keep going down that road because it's what I want, it's what I believe, it's what's noble, or do I change directions, come up with a reason and an excuse for it, and act like I want to talk about something else.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Like the second I did not want to talk about what I initially started the channel as, when it was where I, in my own headspace, did not want to be, I stopped talking about it. Even though YouTube really wanted me to keep talking about it and really wanted to push it and those kind of things, I was like, no, I'm not.
Well, anybody out there who wants to start a channel on YouTube and grow really quickly, you can go out and you can make a channel and you can talk about how bad women are.
Ugh, freaking Kevin.
You can talk about how bad women are, how they're going to be single, how they're never going to be in a relationship over 40, on your own. You could do that. You could talk about. That's the only one I know off the top of my head.
That will immediately get pushed, which is just stupid.
It pushes a divide.
Yeah.
It pushes arguments versus discussions and debates and conversations. It pushes ignorance, and really no good can come from it. A lot of people, if you're familiar with Kevin Samuels, would like to say that he did great work for the community. But I'll tell you right now, most of the people who comment, in my opinion, for the most part, who engage, who gossip about it, are so stupid that they would never ever pick up on the good that could be done because they're not that smart.
No, not to be that person, but didn't Kevin Samuels, pass away from like a heart attack while sleeping with somebody in a hotel room, like the same type of woman he continuously talked down about on his videos?
I don't know if it was that type of woman. She'd have to be an 8 or better on his scale and make more money than him. But that's besides the point. If you were to look at his content as a whole, the good that could be done, his audience isn't that smart to figure that out. He only gained popularity because he was dogging women no matter what, no matter who they were, no matter what, except for a handful.
It's a bad thing when
Melanie King.
It's a bad thing when somebody that popular passes away and nobody's like, oh, rest in peace. Everybody's like, good riddance. That's never a plus.
But essentially you have channels that are purely working to get to the bottom of the truth, to try to find the truth or as close to it as possible, only to realize that truth could be just as harmful as the lies. The truth is that,
our government doesn't care about us.
Yeah, it could be
that's pretty friggin' harmful.
Just as harmful as the lies. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Which part?
That those attempting to find the truth are being suppressed. Content not being shared, not being recommended, not making the homepage, and also quite possibly being rejected by the viewers because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth.
Well, I think that's another problem. You have too many people out there who don't want to hear the truth if it doesn't align with what they want to hear or what they believe or whatever else. And so then if they're not clicking on it, then YouTube goes, well, man, and then they stop showing it to the people who probably do want to hear it. I think it all kind of works together, unfortunately.
I have no idea what's going on with the algorithm right now.
Me either.
I don't even know if it's that. It's so random right now.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's so again, Popular Report. I'll use him as a case study. He should have had 100,000 subscribers already. He should have had 100,000 subscribers a month or two ago.
What does he have?
90 point something.
I didn't know.
Maybe
I thought
92.
he had more than I did.
Tommy Bites. She had a run. I think she had a 1 million plus view video. She had a run. They stopped it. She had 72,000 now, maybe 70 something. I don't remember exactly. Patrick Humphrey. He's another one who had a good run, gets good views on a regular basis, and he's not growing. Jeremiah Babe. I don't know if his sub count number has moved recently.
I don't think so.
What's going on?
I think that, I don't know if it's YouTube. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's YouTube or I don't know if it's the people. The thing is, channels like that grew in a time where people were more concerned about certain things.
What's your sub count growth today?
I'm not 130,000.
No, growth.
I would say between 50 to 200 a day, depending.
Versus
thousands a day for a week or two. Yeah.
So here's what's most important is that understanding what has happened, what can happen, and more than likely what will happen in the future. When seeking and speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson was fired for revealing the truth. And that truth is that the left and big money advertisers controlled the narrative. It was big pharma. Although now it appears, and though it is going to be the central banks in control now, with the continuous push and narrative of how great these central bank digital currencies will be for businesses and consumers. But I feel as though you're about to share something.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find it. Did you know that I don't know if somebody commented it or sent me an email on it, and I can't remember, and it's gonna bother me. But did you know that the U.S. is only one of 2 countries that allows pharmaceutical ads in commercials? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, because is that her kid? What's she doing? Hopefully she's okay. The United States and one other country, and I think it's the UK, I could be wrong, are the only countries that allow pharmaceutical ads in commercials. Because everything goes back to big pharma. That's where the money all is.
And the money is about to be with the central banks, which is why I feel as though they're going to have a strong influence on content and what they want people to believe. But also know that if you don't align with the opinions and newly funded objectives of the company you work for, it doesn't matter who you are. I don't know, their top anchor, their top presence, the one who put them on the map with like 18 to 35-year-olds, you're fired.
Now, according to Megyn Kelly, right? That's her name, Megyn Kelly. He's not fired because he's still under contract. They're trying to figure out what to do with him.
They terminated the contract. It'll be legal recourse,
Yes,
but at
obviously.
the end of the day, he ain't coming back.
No.
They know it may cost them.
But if they had kept the contract, he also couldn't go work anywhere else until the end of that contract. So did they really terminate the contract, or is it still in place?
Yeah, but he wouldn't have had to. He still would have been getting paid. So it's like, hey, you don't have to show up at work. We're still going to send you a paycheck.
What if that's what they're going to do, so that he can't go somewhere else?
He's already gone somewhere else.
Oh, I didn't know
I sent that to you. I thought I sent it to you.
Nuh-uh.
What's the screenshot I sent you on the last message I sent you?
The screenshot. Never mind. You did.
What is this?
Forgive me. It says Tucker Carlson has accepted a higher paying job with more stature as director, ... That's all I see. I can't see the rest of it.
So somebody sent this to me on Twitter, and I have no idea how to find it.
Grain of salt, because unless it's linked to something that shows it.
How do I find it?
Oh, you're asking me like I know. I'm not on Twitter. I don't tweet.
Maybe it's on mine. Is that mine?
No.
It's not mine.
That's you.
That's Biden's head.
Nope, that's not you. I don't know how this works. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I have a Twitter. I don't know how to use it. What was the name on the thing, that the message?
James Smith.
At James Smith?
At you from James Smith.
At you?
Yeah, it says at Kevin247 YouTube.
Oh.
So maybe it's on his and he tagged you. I don't know how this works. So look, you mean get our 13-year-old out here to teach us? Because even though she doesn't have Twitter, she'd be able to figure out in 2 seconds, I'm sure. That's not the right one.
I'll have to figure it out later.
I don't know how this works.
But yeah, so ultimately he said that Tucker Carlson has accepted a new role, and if I can just backspace into changing the volume. I'm at a weird angle.
Is it that? Ow. The sunburn and this strap are not making friends over here. Ow.
Tucker Carlson teases fans with his new plans.
Oh. Never mind.
So I don't know. Either way, look, he's either going to get paid by that contract that he doesn't have to go to work for anymore. He's going to be out of that contract and be compensated and then go do something else. He's going to be fine.
Yes.
Okay. The simple fact of the matter is that he was at the top and they cut him because he didn't fit the mold anymore. Okay. And he's not the only one, because other media outlets were doing the same. One of which, I don't remember exactly who it was, were doing it on purpose to figure out who the leak was. And they didn't want certain information being leaked to the public because they weren't covering it. But they didn't know who was doing it, so they just kept firing people until the leak stopped.
You would think they would just tell each person something different and see which one made it out. It's way smarter than just firing everybody, and some of them are innocent people getting fired. Idiots.
But yeah, I also want to point out that YouTube has been known to enforce new community guidelines and rules that are in essence retroactive.
Yes.
So for all those creators with videos and backlinks to Rumble, sharing content that was previously deleted from YouTube, well, it's a very strong likelihood that doing that will get channels demonetized and deleted. So, Lena Petrova, CPA, Finance, Economics, and Tax. You may want to be very careful about the links that you include in your description and in your pinned comments. Just saying.
There's a lot of channels out there that have Rumble in their pinned comments and stuff. I have people tell me all the time, you should start a Rumble. Yeah, no, I did. I'm not linking anything to anywhere. My channel name is the same everywhere you go. So if you want to go find it somewhere else, go search it up.
So how about this? You said, are you aware of the new YouTube rules on live streams where you can't circumvent live streams by bringing in content from a channel that's been previously removed from YouTube? So ultimately you're circumventing YouTube and the content they have deemed they don't want on their platform by sending links, which is quite possibly the worst thing you can do, because YouTube is all about eyes on the platform and sending links away from the platform.
So I
Just
actually,
saying.
you know what I'm going to do?
Just
I'm going to
saying.
take out any link I have in my description on my next video. I'm not going to put a description in at all, and see if it gets a bigger push, because I have 3 channels. I have SquirrelTribe, I have SquirrelTribe 2.0, and I have SquirrelTribe Shorts, right? Shorts, I've only put up a few things, but every time I put something up there, it says in the top when I put a description in, because I use the same description across all 3 channels. When I put the description in, it'll say you have to be verified before we'll allow outside links to be used. And I'm always like, whatever. And I just back out and I hit save. And the links are always there, but I don't know what that means. But the you must be verified before we'll allow outside links. Now I'm sitting there going, wait a second.
Oh, here's the other one.
But they're not like outside links to other platforms. They're outside links to like...
It doesn't matter.
The microphone that people want, the matcha that I drink.
It doesn't matter, because ultimately that's a threat
away.
Because YouTube has products. And you could do YouTube products instead of Amazon links.
Oh, which is why they have that thing now in your videos. Remember you guys may have noticed this a couple months ago. It started where you could tag the products in your video, and then it would tell you how many times they were clicked on. But you didn't get paid from YouTube for those things.
But nothing
like
anywhere close you would get from the affiliates. But when you're circumventing and promoting another platform, and particularly content that they've already deleted from their platform, I could see them making a guideline push overnight, and before you could even wake up the next day, you're tagged so many times, you're deleted. And also, they can track what you say, what you speak verbally, or try to cleverly display within the content of your video. So it's like, I'm not gonna say Rumble, but it's like, they know. And YouTube's AI is getting really, really good at picking these things out and flagging channels for violating their rules.
Now, listen, I don't violate the rules in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know. But I have people even in my comments going, hey, maybe you shouldn't use these words. But while I'm recording and speaking from my mind, from my heart, it doesn't occur to me to censor myself, because I'm not a censor yourself kind of girl. So I just put my videos up. And then I am, of course, worried that one day I'm going to wake up and go to jump on YouTube and they're going to be like, Not in my house.
So the beauty of it is that it's a trend. So if you jumped on somewhere else, it'd probably pick up pretty fast because you're already a trend. You've built your brand. You're building your brand. That's a plus. Me, not so much. Nobody cares about my content, me, or the fact that you can't find me because Kevin is not really searchable.
Maybe you need to be searchable.
But imagine if you were to get a speeding ticket. You don't argue with the cop, you have to go to court, okay? Arguing with the cop just makes things worse. And in YouTube's case, if you get a speeding ticket, you got to argue with YouTube. But they are, judge, jury, and executioner, and oftentimes they don't really want to hear your argument.
And oftentimes it's AI who's judge, jury, and executioner, and they can't hear your argument.
Now, there are new rules rolling out from YouTube that will age restrict and demonetize content related to eating disorders and content that the platform deems to be harmful and possibly imitated. So,
what does possibly imitated mean?
Okay. So, imitated means you show someone how to field dress an animal as a survival technique. But YouTube is against that. Therefore, they're also against you creating that content because they deem it's harmful and others could imitate it and go field dress their own animals.
Oh, self-sufficiency. Got it.
So what happens if they deem content on proper education, financial literacy, and general readiness as dangerous, harmful, and capable of being imitated?
Just burn the whole platform down at that point. There's no point in it being here.
They'll age restrict you and demonetize you.
There'd be a lot of people going in court. Like, I'm just saying.
But I guess the main question here, or the main questions that are more important, I guess, tell me which question is most important right now. And that is the manipulation and forced consent imposed by the media.
That's not a question.
I guess.
I need you to phrase this differently because I don't know how to answer that already. We've only started. What do you find more important?
What should we be focused on more?
Okay.
What should we be focused on more?
Okay, continue.
The manipulation and forced consent imposed by the media. The lies that are being told to the public every day with a straight face and minimal eye contact. Karine Jean-Pierre. I don't know if anybody saw that clip.
I need to watch.
You need to go check it out.
Okay.
Or the clip said, I don't even think Democrats are that stupid. Because the lie that she told against Republicans, for which she wanted everyone to believe, they were like, I don't even think your people gonna buy it.
Oh, is this about the Dominion?
No,
that's different.
So what should we be focused on? What should we be more concerned with? The manipulation and forced consent imposed by the media, the lies that are being told to the public every day with a straight face and minimal eye contact, or the coming risks of control being enforced by central banks and their CBDCs.
Can we just blend the three together? Because that sounds like a shit smoothie to me. Like, you need to be concerned about all of them because they all literally go hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand.
Somebody said, I'm gonna read this comment if I can find it. And they said, this is I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a problem with our society right now. You are pushing the Overton window. Stop.
The what?
Overton window.
What is Overton window? The novel is based on the Overton window concept in political theory, in which at any given moment there is a range of policies related to any particular issue that are considered politically acceptable in the window, and other policies that politicians seeking to gain or hold public office do not feel they can. You were pushing the political... Oh, what? Maybe it'd be easier to tell that person to shut
The
up.
Overton window is a range of policies politically acceptable to the mainstream population at a given time. It is also known as a window of discourse. So ultimately, by me asking these questions, they're saying that I'm overstepping the boundaries of what is politically acceptable with society by simply asking these questions of, should we be concerned about the media? Should we be concerned about our government lying to us, or should we be concerned about our money disappearing? And they'll say, well, you're I can't believe you're doing this. Stop. I think that they are an agent.
I think that they are stupid. So what I heard is they are somebody who would rather keep their head in the sand and not learn anything, not pay attention to anything, not have discussions,
or
not
they're
have
hired,
conversations.
or they're on the payroll to keep people uninformed.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those out there.
Blind, and increase the amount of sheeple.
Do you understand how long I have to spend deleting comments and blocking people for stuff like that? And people will be like, freedom of speech. No, freedom of speech, sure, but freedom of just dumbassery, no. Like, I'm going to block those kind of things because we need to have these discussions. If we did not have these discussions, we'd be even worse off than we are right now.
Yeah, so basically it was because of this community post here. I'll let you read it.
If Biden signed an executive order that forced you to turn over all your cash money to the central bank in exchange for CBDC or hand over all your firearms to the ATM.
This community post got completely jacked. Central bank ended up being Central, and ATF ended up being ATM. Thank you, Samsung, for automatically correcting.
Okay, so let me read this how it's supposed to be. If Biden signed an executive order that forced you to turn over all your cash money to the central bank in exchange for CBDC or hand over all of your firearms to the ATF in exchange for not becoming an instant felon, which would you choose? Oh, wow. So lose your eyesight or lose your whatever. Okay, so here's your things. Give them all my money. Give them all my guns. Give them the finger. That's the correct answer.
And someone commented, you're pushing the Overton window. Stop.
How do people expect people to have conversations and debates? This is somebody who was probably not accepted to the debate team in high school because they didn't want to actually debate. They just wanted to put their tail between their legs and sit there and do nothing.
Or their job is to go around and find people like us who are trying to get the facts and uncover the truth and try to prevent us from doing our job. Go get a real job. I feel like that is my job. Like, my job is to try to help other people.
Same.
So,
yeah, same.
We've got new laws taking effect in Europe, which limit cash payments in France and Italy to 1,000 euros, which is roughly 1,104 US dollars, using today's conversion rates. And any transaction or payment above that amount would place you in the gray market category, meaning that you may be going to jail. All according to the ECB's Europa website, which is the European Central Bank in Europe. What was shared by ECB President Christine Lagarde. And besides these cash restrictions, there are new restrictions on anonymous crypto transfers too.
I have a question, because I still don't fully understand how you can implement, you can't spend this much money. What happens to any business that sells anything that costs more than 1,000 euros?
All right, let's look at it like this. Let's look at cut and dry, plain and simple, right? What happens if you buy drugs? What happens if you buy illegal drugs?
You're in trouble. Okay. Well, if they catch you.
What happens if you sell illegal drugs?
If they catch you.
What happens if you're part of both? If you buy it and they catch you in conducting that transaction as a purchaser, boom.
Okay.
Let me see your receipt for this. How'd you pay for it? If you sell it as a business, all right, then now you are also part of this. So.
Okay. I don't know if you know this, but insulin has gone through the roof. The cost of insulin. Let's say insulin costs 1,000 euros or 1,001 euros. You're going to tell me that in France, if I went to go buy insulin to keep myself alive and spent 1,001 euros on it, I'm in trouble?
If you use cash, paper money, something that was untraceable, untrackable. They want to know how much insulin you're buying. So you need to use a credit card, you need to use a debit card, you need to use a check card.
Do you, just real quick, do you understand the problem that's going to arise from that for people in really bad credit, low income felons, anything like that.
That's why central bank digital currency is such a huge benefit to society, because it'll be available to everyone. It'll promote inclusion. It'll be provided for those who have been underbanked or unbanked. This is utopia. Everybody jump on board.
Okay. I get it. Where do we RIOT? Where do we start that? Like, how do we?
Remember, she said, we are considering whether for very small amounts, anything that is around 300 euros to 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control, but that could be dangerous. I feel like what's more dangerous
is full control.
Is them having the ability to have any control.
Yeah, I've changed my mind from the beginning of this video. I've changed my mind now that we've talked more about it and I understand a little bit more. Because again, you're the financial one. I'm the not
sure. This could potentially be great for, let's just say, government leadership, World Economic Forum elite, as well as BRICS nations, all promoting the conversion and potential confiscation, expiration dates of cash as a huge benefit to people in society in general, and it will help to crack down and cut back on illegal transactions and illegal activity. But the only way to cut down on those is to monitor in search of. But that's like saying, we're going to place cameras in your home just in case there's a robbery. But we're only going to look during a robbery.
Yeah. Okay, Alexa.
We're only going to look while something bad is happening. Otherwise, we're not going to look. And if we happen to look while something else is happening, we just won't say anything.
Look away.
But we did see it, and we recorded it, and yeah.
Now we have it forever. I have issues with all of this at this point.
So, I mean, this could be the beginning of opening up a huge can of worms and living in a world where police, get this, where police and federal agents no longer need a warrant or probable cause to enter, search, and seizure. Because essentially you're giving them that access as a central bank to monitor your transactions without your consent.
No, you know when that's actually going to happen? When all of the houses right now that are now being flipped from mortgage houses to rentals only, it's not your property. They can come in there anytime they want, especially since it's a lot of corporations who own these buildings now. BlackRock, Vanguard, other places own these buildings. People don't own them. You're just renting there. Therefore, you have no say what happens in there. You don't have to know if there's cameras in your house. You don't have to say, yes, they can come in or not.
This is a moral crime.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson being fired by Fox just shows their true intent. Fox lost more money by firing Tucker Carlson than it spent to settle the Dominion lawsuit.
Jeez. That was like $787 million?
Tucker Carlson was their strongest presence and highest rated host. Despite advertisers boycotting him, he was still their most profitable. Mm-hmm. Tucker brought in on average 3.5 million viewers per night. Shares of parent company Fox Corporation dropped by 5%, wiping out $690 million from its market value. So at this point in time, the question isn't who in public life is corrupt, as I quote Tucker Carlson. Mm-hmm. Too many to count. The question is, who's telling the truth? As he, too much talk about the proxy war and Russiagate, too much talk about the jabs and big pharma, hurting innocent people with their untested and essentially ineffective vials and dosages and boosters.
And we talked about this morning how two of the very first two ones have now been pulled off the shelves, if you will. They're not allowed to administer them anymore.
This is what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just the beginning.
I have so many words that I'm speechless.
For her words, tune in to SquirrelTribe.
Yeah, because I'll say whatever I want to on my channel. I'm not going to subject yours to
Tune in to
my
SquirrelTribe while it's still on YouTube.
While it's still allowed, because the things I talk about and anything.
And if you would, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment down below.
The video.
Share it with friends, family, anyone. strangers on the street.
Maybe don't share it on Facebook because people complain about.
I don't think you
Facebook.
can share my videos on Facebook. I don't think it'll let you.
I don't. Yeah.
You can try it. I don't think it'll let you.
I would just email it or text it to your friends. You could even tweet it because at least there's that.
And if you want to reach out to me, by all means, email, Instagram, Twitter. Apparently, I don't know how to find the message on Twitter, but go for it. And also, if you want to be featured on the channel and we can have discussions and back and forth and interviews like you guys have seen, by all means. Until next time, you guys take care, be safe.
Bye.